Good morning. Good morning. Am I live? All right. I think we are live and I'm ready to go. Okay. um, I've taken 3 trades so far this morning. I'll walk through them really quick. It's really choppy right now. Which is why I got the chop box on the screen. Um, anyway, earlier this morning, right before the news, this signal line was flashing a tick up like 1 second before the candle closed, and I hit the button, and then it closed down like 1 second later. Then the news came out, it wicked down, and then popped up and took 6 contracts off there. And then 2 contracts ended up breaking even. I'm trading 8 contracts per trade. So 6 came off at 80, 2 was break even. And then we put in this higher low from the green zone. So I went long again. Didn't quite make 80. It looked like we were going to break out through the VWAP there, but then we rejected immediately. So right after the rejection, I put my take profit on the 8 and I exited on the 8. So I got 10 and a quarter points on that one. However, that was only 3 contracts there though, because right after it hit the VWAP, I moved my stop to break even or just above break even, and it got me out 5 contracts on the end of this wick right here. So that was 1 point in the profit for 5 contracts, but the other 3 was here at 10 and a quarter. Then for my third trade, what happened here was we crossed down the confirmation line, and the signal pulled down, pulled back up to the delta. The delta's still really weak, and we ticked down, so I shorted that right there. And we did pull down a little bit to the previous month high, but then we popped back up, and once I saw this tick up from the green zone and we were turning positive in the delta again, I just went ahead and pulled it right there for a small loss, 1 point loss. And now we're just waiting. Still kind of chopping there though. As far as the higher time frames go, we're bearish on the 15. We are in the red zone on the 15. So if we tick down anywhere in here and that delta is still weak, that's going to be a short on the 15. The 5 is looking fairly bullish at the moment, and so is the 3. As far as news goes today, let's check that out quick. Doesn't look like we have any more news today. Yeah, that was it. Retail sales at 7:30. So we just have the open here coming up in about 10 minutes. Now we are sitting right at the VWAP. So if we do open up right here at VWAP, it's probably going to be kind of choppy. Usually if we open at VWAP, we just go sideways for a half hour or so. So if that happens, I'm probably just going to sit it out for a while. Got to get away from that VWAP. Let's check out the higher time frames and see how we look. Here's the 5-minute. 5-minute is rather bullish. Here's the 15. Yeah, on the 15, if this continues up here and if it ticks down and the delta's still weak and under that confirmation line, we could drop back significantly. And we do have a little bit of a trend line here. We break that, we could easily fall down here. Good morning, K. John. I was thinking last night, I do pretty well in pre-market, and then I seem to fall apart the first half hour to an hour sometimes when the market opens and gets really squirrely. Sometimes I do really good there, but I would say the majority of the time I probably don't do so hot. So I was thinking about maybe I should just start trading pre-market and just have a little cool-off period for an hour or so. Wait for things to stabilize and then get back in. A lot of times the market is kind of nasty all the way up until 10 or 11 o'clock even, and then I end the stream and then it turns back on at lunchtime. So maybe I should start doing pre-market streams and then maybe lunchtime. I don't know. There's the 825 candle. That candle, it always seems to go in the opposite direction of the previous candle. So see how that 820... Wait, no, this is the 824 candle right here. Sorry, I thought this was the 824 candle. The 823 candle was a down close candle. And then I was thinking if that was 824 and then 825, it usually just shoots it in the other direction. Some kind of algorithm or imbalance algorithm that happens at that time. But today, it didn't really do a whole lot right there. Marcus Knight, I found success by not trading the first 5 minutes, then use that as the range. Only trade above or below that range. I've done that before too. I've had a period where I didn't trade the first 5 minutes. I had a period where I didn't trade the first 10 minutes, the first 15 minutes. I feel like I've gone through all of those things. I always end up right back to right back to, if I don't trade it, I usually regret it, and then if I trade it, I regret it. So it's like, I don't know. Because sometimes the best entries happen like 1 or 2 minutes right before the open. And then if I don't take it, I usually regret it. But I would say, generally speaking, I think you're right. We'll see if we get a signal here. It's 8:27 right now. You know, we have dipped under this confirmation line. I was going to say, if we tick down from the upper power zone right before the open here, that could be a good short. You know, we're also building a broadening formation here, and we're at the top of the broadening formation. Well, almost to the top. But see, this low is taken out by that low. So we get up here, you know, the fact that we took out that high right there. Change these to red. The fact that we took out this high means that if we get a tick down here, we could easily roll back down and then take out this low. Usually if we open in the upper power zone, the first move is down. And if we open in the lower power zone, the first move is up. So got about 35 seconds here. And we're open. I'm trying to short the 8 here. I just got picked up on the 8. 22, 112.50. This is going to be the day that it doesn't work since I actually took it. But usually we get that tick down there right before the open, it goes the other way. Nope, not today. Oh, almost hit me there. All right, that didn't work. So yeah, maybe I should have just stayed out. Now it'll come down and hit it. Well, I had logic in there, but the open doesn't always like logic. Here it comes. Now it's coming down. All right, so that hurt me a little bit. 8 contracts at 80 ticks. Well, got some chop in the delta like we suspected. Opening at VWAP. We are making a move down, it looks like. Technically, that wasn't wrong. The stop was just probably too tight. Marcus, I'm going to mark out your 5-minute range here. We'll try to play with that today. Yeah, you know, if I would just trade pre-market and then stop, I think you could probably make a pretty good living just doing that. We still have not taken this low. I got a feeling we're still going to take it. That was my initial target. Good morning, Stealth. You took that short. I took that short too, and I got run over really quick. Well, there's the 5-minute range. You took the long at 709. 709. My 809. There we go. We just took that low. See? It wasn't wrong. My stop was just too tight. See, the signal never even ticked up here. It's just been heading down ever since. So this broadening formation continues here. Yeah, stealth, I do that quite a bit. Where I'm right, but I still lose. I have a knack for doing that. Marcus, I'm now testing a new strat, 10-minute Heikinashi candles, and the 9 EMA. If the candle closes above or below, I'm in. Looks good so far. All right. Sounds good. Good morning, G2. Yep, we are hugging VWAP. We have both arms around VWAP. Might be a while until let's go. Well, Stealth, it looks like you can retire it today. Begin your weekend early. You know, I was sitting pretty nice too before this last trade. This was a good winner. This was a decent winner. This was pretty much a break even. And then this one had to run me over. Still, if you know, when I'm in that situation, I'll usually just scale it down if I just want to satisfy my trading brain and just trade a single or two contracts. That way, if you totally screw up for the day, you can, you'll still be in the money, hopefully. I'm going to extend this out to the 15-minute range instead of the 5-minute range, since we're pretty much still stuck here. But I think we're going to have to hold this line right here, this trend line here. We're going to have to stay above that to stay bullish, I think. Because if we start breaking down there on the 15, if we get this tick down up here, that could turn ugly. You're biased long because of higher time frames? What about the 15? The 15 is what's making me bias short right here. After we had this confirmation line cross, just waiting for the signal to come up here and then do that. That is a short on the 15. Let's see what the hourly looks like. On the hourly, the delta is exhausted. So if this signal pulls up here and ticks down on the hourly, and as long as the delta is still exhausted and still has that negative slope, then that would be a delta squeeze on the hourly, which means we could come down even further. The 15-minute short is just a pullback on the hour? Possibly. If we even get it. There's no confirmed short yet. The 3 and the 5 are still bullish. Well, the price is moving a little bit here. The bulls are trying to push it back up to previous day high. The delta is rising. It's looking fairly strong. We did have a long setup on the 3. At 8:45, that was a long on the 3. Good morning, Jason. Is there no JWAS today? Did he sleep in? I think he said he had to get a lot of stuff done yesterday, so he's probably probably sleeping. Yes, happy Valentine's Day to all of you. All right, we're at the top of this 15-minute range now. Yeah, it might want to get up there, take London high. We did just have a power zone tick down. Delta's still pretty strong though, so we're gonna fall back in the range here. Came back and retested previous day high. She's falling apart a little bit. Came all the way down and tested the 20, but that turned into a nice hammer candle. All right, is it go time? We are getting a tick up right on those relatively thick delta candles. Just went long there. 22, 133, 75. Got the 9 o'clock candle coming in about a minute. Well, shoot. I just pulled it. Going long in the red zone typically ends up that way for me. We put in this lower high right here. But after that hammer candle, I was convinced we were going to go. I guess not. So minus 11 on that one. Stealth says, my trader friend told me to start looking for a 9:40 to 9:50 a.m. reversal. Seems that's a sweet spot for a reversal at open for some quick profits. So my 8:40 to 8:50 seems about right. Well, it might turn out that this tick down from the power zone was the short. Back down we go. Delta is definitely exhausted now. Aggressive sellers are stepping in. That Delta candle's getting fat. Back to VWAP. So that's why this zone is colored red. It's because that's where you're supposed to short, not go long. I did the opposite. Marcus Knight, 22,160 is resistance. We need to break to head to all-time highs. Probably need a pullback for that. Well, we're definitely getting a pullback now. Yeah, both power zones worked today. Anytime you're in more of a ranging condition, market condition, the power zones are usually the best entries, and they usually work both ways. The hard part is identifying whether or not you're ranging. Just got to tick up from that green zone. Looks like the bulls are going to give it another try. Barely in the green zone. But it is the green zone, so I went ahead and I took that long here. Yesterday, I did not take that trade, and I regretted it. 22,125. Yeah, yesterday was a similar setup where it was like, I don't know if I should take that one. I didn't take it, and then it didn't present another long opportunity until we started consolidating, and then so I missed the big move up, and then we consolidated, and by the time I got in, then it was just chopping sideways, and I got chopped up. That was my big issue yesterday. Well, according to the 3 and the 5, we should be looking for longs. If you're looking at the signal line on the 15, we should be looking for longs there too, but we still have to keep in mind there could be a short setup coming on the 15. So just want to keep an eye on that. We're so close to my target, I'm going to go ahead and move to break even now. Okay, that's 6 contracts off at 80. That puts me back in the green. Got 2 contracts left. 22,142. Well, yes, we broke 142. See if we can break the London high at 162. Bias was correct. When all else fails, just buy the dip, Stelf says. Well, I got a feeling we're going to take the London high, at least. Delta's still looking strong, still heading up on both the 1 and the 3 and the 5. Delta's starting to look stronger in the 15 as well. If that Delta can get back above the confirmation line on the 15, then that's going to be bullish again. I am trailing here on my last 2 contracts, so hopefully it doesn't take me out. And it just took me out. What in the world, market? Hey, at least it was still profitable. It's taken out at 35 here at 10 points for the last 2 contracts. So 2 contracts, 10 points. Makes this 55.75. I should have probably just left my stop where it was. I thought it'd be a good idea to trail it, but usually I regret doing stuff like that because now it's really going to go. Yeah, now we can take out London. Tommy's gone. Let's go. What's going on here? There's a little delta squeeze presenting itself on the 1. That was kind of abrupt. Happened too abruptly, though. I don't trust that for short. Yeah, I don't know. Watch, that might be a beautiful short here. Delta's exhausted. Maybe they don't want us to take out the London high for some reason. Maybe they want to drive it lower. Well, at least I got my piece of that. This price action today, though, is kind of nasty, isn't it? Jason, I'm looking for a test of the 100 on the 1 minute. Lines up with the bottom trend line of the 15. This trend line here. Printing another lower high. It's not confirmed, but I don't know. The bulls are trying to step it up here too. So it's probably best just to stay out because it's giving mixed signals at the moment. Good morning, Raphael. Bulls are trying to step it up here. We're putting in a higher low on the signal. It is in the red zone. Kind of want to go long on it, but we did test the 50 right there. Delta is turning positive again. I went ahead and gave it a shot. See if we could take out that London high. And at 22,146.62. Reason why I went long is because it put in a higher low on the signal, and the delta is turning positive. And the 3 and the 5 are still pretty bullish. So so long should still be where it's at the moment. But man, she's making it difficult. ATR's at a 51, which is kind of the sweet spot for me. Delta is still turning up, so it's looking good at the moment. Kind of need the bulls to step it up here, though. Got to break that trend line right here. Come on, bulls, you can do it. Man, that delta is just too choppy. I'm out. Bulls just couldn't do it right there. Minus 8.25. I hate price action in days like this with this nasty, nasty chop just not going anywhere. All this is chop. Yeah, Brian, I know I got my eye on it. See the 15? See how we're ticking down right there? It was just flashing. So we're about to potentially put in a short on the 15. Now, obviously, if it's higher time frame, it's going to potentially take a while for the 5 and 3 to catch up. But something to keep an eye on. On the 3, we're starting to put in a potential delta squeeze there. I'm seeing exhaustion on the 3. The 5 hasn't exhausted yet. Yeah, right here. That tick down where we had exhaustion on the delta. I probably should have just flipped short right there. We'll see if the if the anchored VWAP will hold here. Technically, we're still sitting on top. So it's 9:33. We're flashing this tick down on the 15. So at 9:45, if that is ticked down, that would be a short on the 15. See how the delta is actually getting some momentum to it now versus how it was earlier to the downside. I still think we might be a little early for any shorts, though. because we still have the 5 to catch up. We still have the 3 has the signal, but it's kind of fighting with this upward sloping confirmation line, so that might take a little while yet. Brian, Tommy made the switch to TradingView and got the indicator all set up, getting acclimated. Awesome. You were coming from Thinkorswim, right? Very cool. I think you're going to like TradingView once you get used to it. It's definitely my preferred charting platform. All right, cool. I haven't messed with the volume profile all that much. I know there's a bunch of different ones in here. Visible range volume profile. I thought there were some other ones in there too. There's also a volume profile tool, I think. Where is it? Fixed range volume profile. Then there's an anchored volume profile. There we go. Anyway, yeah. I think there's different options in there for that. Market's still pushing down here. We closed under VWAP. Just printed a higher low with some bullish divergence on the signal. But that delta is coming down pretty aggressively, so I don't really want to go long there. Could be a long though. We did touch that trend line. Yeah, I think the bears are going to step it up here. It basically just retested the anchored VWAP and is rejecting. Signal. You got a signal on the buy sell toolkit to short. Or is it a buy? Still holding that trend line though. There's a chance the bulls could pull it off. Delta's still headed down. No signs of turning around. Delta's starting to taper now. Bulls are trying. But I personally am waiting for a short setup here. Just don't see one yet. Maybe we'll come back up to the 50 here and then turn around. I'll be right back, guys. Still headed up here. Sitting right at the 50. We're getting a long signal on the 3. By the way, the 15-minute did confirm that tick down. So it might just be a matter of time till we see a drop here. Curious if this higher low here would have stopped out. Oh, look at that. To the tick. But if you took the third, here's the third tick up from the power zone. That would have been a winner. That would have hit 80. The Len Boy, thanks. Thanks for what? Talking to me? We got the signal in that upper power zone, so I am sitting here waiting for a tick down. Or are the Bulls going to take it back here? Jason, when I put the 115-minute trend line, I meant the 200. I mistyped. Well, after the trend line touch, this third tick up from the power zone, which was the first one where we saw tapering on the delta. So if you're looking for tapering on the delta, that would have worked there. I passed it up because I thought we were probably going to turn around soon, but I was wrong. Definitely would have been a winner. Now we're running for London high. If we were going to go short, I was looking for a short signal around the 50 here, but once we got above it, then it was off to the races for the Bulls. Today you're in the zone, Stealth. Awesome. Wednesday, I was definitely in the zone. I was killing it on Wednesday. I kind of screwed things up at the end of the day there, but most of the day I was killing it. It's a good feeling when you have days like that, you know? You feel like you're in sync. It looks like we made a new New York high. There we go. Now it took London high. You know, you look at this chart though today and it's a mess. This is definitely where you need your advanced trading skills. It's not easy today. However, you look at the 3 and you look at the 5, and those are pretty smooth and straightforward. You know, on the 3, here's your long on the 3. Here's the long on the 5. Jason, the big boys knew retail would be chomping at the bit for that takeout. Yep, they just had to drive it back down first, get everybody induced into a short, and then flip it around on them. You know, those are always the best moves. It's like right when it's like right there, borderline, everyone's going to jump in for short, and then they have to keep covering all the way up. All right, we took London high. We did get a tick down from the upper power zone. That is likely a short there. I'm going to try it anyways. I just got picked up for a short. At 22,164.75. Moving stops to break even. Man, that's a lot of stops. I move 8 stop lines. There we go. There's a winner. There's 6 contracts off. Got 2 contracts left. All right, Stealth. Probably a good place to call it. Have a good weekend. Hopefully we see you next week. We have a little bit of bearish divergence on the 5. Got a higher high in the price, and we are putting in a lower high on the signal. Just something to be aware of. Starting to see some exhaustion on the delta on the 1. It's getting close to my break even here. And it hit me. So those last 2 contracts was a break even. But that's all right, because it was still a good winner. The 15's looking a little more bullish now. We got that tick down earlier, but the delta's still moving up, and looks like it's going to cross above the confirmation line. We'll see. We got about 5 minutes on that 15-minute candle. So we got a lower high here on the signal. However, we have a positive slope on the delta. So it's not really a delta squeeze. It's like borderline. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up just kind of making a wedge here. I hate those wedges. But it could play out. Remember, on the 5-minute, we are putting in some bearish divergence. And if you look at the delta, we are back to being thin and spotty. That's dangerous. It's like walking on thin ice. Basically telling you there's no conviction either way. Nobody's in charge. Well, that little borderline delta squeeze scenario looks like it's playing out. So that's at 10:11. So that would have been a short right here. Looks like that might turn into a winner. Yeah, that little delta squeeze scenario would have been a winner there. I didn't take it because it, like I said, it had a positive slope on the delta right there. But if you look at the overall slope, was that negative? Yeah, I guess it was. The overall slope was slightly negative. Back down to VWAP and that trend line. Is that trend line going to break now? Oh, yeah, look at the 15. The 15, we are putting in a lower high. That delta is gaining some momentum now. She is waterfalling. I have a limit order in here to go short on the anchored VWAP. If it can even get to me. All right, I just got tagged in for a short here. Now, ideally, I want this to be a wick, but it doesn't look like it's going to be, so... We did close above the 8, which I didn't want to see. And the delta's already tapering positive. Well, hopefully it doesn't just V-bottom and go straight up. This is one where I did not wait for a cumulative delta entry. I was being more aggressive with this one. And I told myself I wasn't going to do that today, because that's been getting me in trouble lately. Looks like it's going to get me in trouble again. All right, come back down to earth. Yep. It's going to V-bottom. Shoot. It got me. Man, not even a little pullback to the 8. I thought at least it would come back down and touch the 8 so that I could get out. God, I hate it when that happens. All right, so no more aggressive entries for me. Those, last week I did really well with those, but this week, not so much. So I need to stop with the aggressive entries. That just put me back under. We had those really fat deltas come. I guess they're not super fat, but they were fatter than normal. It was coming down pretty aggressively, but I guess last time that happened, we just turned right back around too. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Just turned on a dime. You know, on the 15, we did get that confirmed lower high on the signal. 10:15. So I'm still kind of favoring the short side here. Yeah, finding support around 22,100 lately. But how many times can we do that? There she goes. Just had to stop me out first. We're putting in a lower high with an exhausted delta. Barely in the red zone. Confirmation line is pointed down. I just went short there. $22,129. Uh-oh. The signal line is starting to turn Charlie Brown's t-shirt on me. Starting to tick up again right there on the midline. Hopefully the bears can push her back down. Charting the swing low on this one. Delta's still pointed down, so I'm holding on here. But if we start closing above the 20, I'm going to pull it. All right, I'm out. $6.75. That Delta is just a choppy mess, man. Okay, John, if we move back up and close above 22,155 and hold for 10 minutes, we will grind higher the rest of the day. 22,155. Delta's still weak. I just took that short again. 22, 134, 31. And I'm out because we ticked back up there. I was short because we ticked down from the red zone and the confirmation line is still pointed down. So I'm still short biased until that turns around. $375 on that one. If we put in a lower high on the signal, I'm going to jump back in. Because that delta, see how weak the delta is? As long as that delta remains weak, I'm going to try to short every one of these. Looks like I got screwed on that last one. It's already making its big move. All right, I am short again. I'd feel more comfortable if that candle was a little smaller. I don't like getting in on the big candles because they always pop back like that. 22 122.50 is where I'm in. The cumulative delta was right again. Well, this price action is getting kind of annoying. Didn't quite hit my target. Got 3/4 of the way there. Delta still pointed down, but we did tick up from that lower power zone, so thinking about just pulling it here. We'll see where this candle closes. Come on, push her back down. Well, that one was a loser. Would have been a winner had I had a smaller target. Went 56 ticks. Anyway, so that was minus 9.25 on that one. Nasty ass price action. And you know, that actually wouldn't have been so bad had I not got in on this this big candle. That's why I don't like taking the big candles. With the smaller candles, if it's going to go against you like that, usually it's a small loss or a break even. This actually should have been a break even. I should have moved to break even after it went 3/4 of the way to my take profit. I could have executed that one better. And I actually did have a chance to get out at break even on this down close candle here. But I said, I'll wait for one more candle, and that's all it takes to blow you up. You know, speaking of, I've been thinking about whether or not I should, at least when we're chopping like this, I just need to look for smaller targets. You know, like this would have been a winner had I been a smaller target. This one would have been a winner. I think I'm going to do that maybe for the rest of the day. I'm going to cut my target in half. Look at that. It's putting in another short signal again. All right. I cut my targets in half. So now I'm going to be looking for 40 ticks instead of 80. That delta is getting a little bit of momentum in that delta candle right there. So I might actually take this long here. All right, I just went long. At 22,141.09. I'll say 141. Now I'm looking for 40, which is here. Gonna have to save a new template. Don't even tell me. Are you serious? Another short signal. We just got a tick down from the red zone with the weak delta, so I flipped right there. So minus 9.5 on that. The delta's still really weak. Confirmation line still pointed down. But if this doesn't work out and we just start getting chopped up here, I'm probably just going to be done. Because this is starting to get ridiculous now. The ATR has really come down. It's at 31 now, too. Yep, looks like I am just getting chopped up here, so. All right, that is it. Minus 10 points on that. Gosh, that's the worst when you get it wrong both ways, back to back. God, I hate that. 10 points on that one. Well, from a point perspective, that looks pretty bad up there. From a dollar perspective, here, let's see. From a dollar perspective, it's not great. It's not horrible. $760 with fees. Anyway, I am going to call it here since the market is going absolutely nowhere. Marcus Knight, if I just followed your chart on 5-minute, I'd be in big money. On the 5-minute, huh? Well, that is one of the nastiest charts ever on the 5-minute. So what are you referring to? See how nice pre-market is? And then New York turns on and it turns into a rat's nest. Here's the 3-minute. The bottom part of your chart. What do you mean? I guess I'm not following. Bottom part of your chart, not candles. Oh, you mean if you just entered like down here? Played the range? Look at that. It's giving another short signal here. That delta's still super weak. It's going to go down. That is not sustainable for it to keep doing that. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to call it here. It wasn't so bad of a day until that happened. It's that nasty chop. And that's the one thing with this strategy. It works amazing as long as the price is moving. But as soon as the price starts doing this, you know, when you're getting this thin, spotty delta, that is when I run into trouble. And these chop boxes help a little bit. You know, the playbook says to stay away when you have those chop boxes on the screen, but a lot of times you don't really realize that you're in the thick of that until you've already been chopped up. So it'd be nice to figure out if there was a better way to detect when that was going to happen so that you could just stay out of the market, you know. Anyway, guys, have a good weekend. We will see you next week.
I said certified trend, watch that V-Bot stick. Trade so clean, got my profits real thick. Yeah, I use that VWI, volume weighted, that's the map. Hit my levels, never cap, big green candles, watch them stack. I'm in the zone, got my setup tight. VW well bouncing, entry right. Big lot size, no scalper life. trend is strong, I hold all night. Market open, watch the tape, liquidity gon' set my fate. If it holds, I let it ride. If it breaks, I cut with pride. Midday chop, I step aside. Wait for trend and not decide. Be broke by magnet, price aligns. Catch that dip, now watch it climb. Yeah, I use that view get volume weighted, that's the map. Trend confirm, I let it clap. Catch that move, no looking back. The mode is shift, I see it clean. Delta rising, bulls and steam. Volume high, trend is mean. New day high, that's routine. Market's wild, stay composed. Bounce, I double dose. Risk is tight, reward is vast. Let it run, no exit fast. Pre-market plan already set. If it's weak, then short's the bet. Buy is strong, but I'll adapt. Trade what's real, don't get trapped. No emotions, risk defined. Vobo telling me it's time. Big green candles, money stacked. Trade that volume, never lack. Market open, watch the tape. Liquidity gon' set my fate. If it holds, it gon' set my fate. If it holds, I let it ride. If it breaks, I cut with pride. Midday chop, I step aside. Wait for trend, then I decide. Market open, watch the tape. Liquidity gon' set my fate. If it holds, I let it ride. If it breaks, I cut with pride. Midday chop, I step aside. Wait for trend, then I decide. Why day chop, I step with pride. Midday chop with pride. Midday chop, I step aside. Wait for trend, then I decide. Vibe by magnet, price aligns. Catch that dip, now watch it climb. No emotions, risk defined. Vobo telling me it's time. Big green candles, money stacked. Trade that volume, never lack. Never lack. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah. Look back, momentum shift, I see it clean. Delta rising, bulls and steam. Volume high, trend is mean. New day high, that's routine. Market's wild, stay composed. Vow bounce, I double dose. Risk is tight, reward is vast. Let it run, no exit fast. Pre-market plan already set. If it's weak, then short's the bet. Buy it strong, but I'll adapt. Trade what's real, don't get trapped. Vibes keeps me sane. Baseline price, it runs the game. Overextended, I refrain. Wait for retest, then I claim. No emotion, hits get fine. Baseline price, it runs the game. Overextended, I refrain. Wait for retest, then I claim. Emotions, risk defined. Pop telling me it's time. Big green candles, money stacked. Trade that volume, never lack. No, never lack.